becomes very important that we talk about it. So, on average, a study was done and they found that on the average, next slide. So, on the average, children aged 8 to 12 in the United States spend close to 4 to 6 hours a day watching or using screen. And even teens are found to spend more. That's a lot. 6 hours in a day. Sometimes you might think that do we really spend up to 6 hours in a day? But try to calculate. You discover that most children, not even children, when they wake up, what did they reach their hand to? Their phones. Oh, my TikTok. Oh, my days. I won't mention them now. Some days ago, some children are supposed to meet themselves somewhere, and this other person came very late. She even came when they finished. Guess what she was doing? TikTok. So children spend a lot of hours on screen. And the truth is this, is affecting them. It's affecting them academically, socially, mentally, health-wise. For example, many, like 10, 15 years ago, we don't hear about children having depression. We don't really hear more about this mental health. But why do we have a sharp increase of it? Sometimes you'll be surprised. A small child is going through depression. And the truth is that we don't have to deny it. The child is going through depression. But the question is, why do we have this sharp increase in these mental health issues? The truth is the screen time contributes to this. Next slide. So, when you see our children on screen, on phone, on TV, what do they get exposed to? They get exposed to violence and risk-taking behavior. All these, you see some children, maybe after church, outside there, you see the way they are doing, and things like that. It's just based on the kind of things they watch on TV, the violence movie, and things like that. So they get exposed to all these things. Sexual content. Even sometimes these days, even the cartoons, let's be sincere, they contain sexual content. The cartoons. Sometimes you say, but the child is just watching cartoon. But these days now, we need to check which type of cartoons the children are watching. Because even these cartoons these days, they contain sexual content, negative stereotypes, substance use. There's some movies that encourage substance abuse, cyberbullies, misleading or inaccurate information. Next slide. So, let's give this disclaimer. Screen, TV, phone is not totally wrong. The purpose of this teaching is not for you to get home and throw all your iPhones away from your house. If you throw it out, I will be outside to collect them. So the purpose is not to take all the screen from your home. But the purpose is for us to know when the screen time becomes excess. That's the truth. The truth is that anything can be abused. Even water we drink can be abused. So when the screen time become excess, so WHO actually did try to do a work. That's when I say WHO, I'm talking about the World Health Organization, and American Association of Pediatrics. They did a work and found that children below 2 years of age should not be exposed at all to screen. And I will explain this way. Children below 2 years of old, if you are exposing that child to screen, you are abusing that child. And you are affecting the development of that child. So this is from WHO. Children between age 2 to 4 years should not exceed more than 1 hour in a day. 1 hour may seems too long, but it's not long. Just if you calculate cumulatively, the time in 24 hours, the time they spend looking at screen, at TV, at phones, at different things. And 5 to 17 years old should not exceed 2 hours daily. That's our teenagers. But let's be sincere. Let's be sincere. They spend times 2, times 3 of this. So you discover that most of our children, most of the teenagers or children, they're actually in excess of screen. That's the truth. That's the reality. And this is actually from WHO. So, next. So, we'll just quickly look at what is the effect of excess screen time. Because if you say something is bad, the question is how bad? It's just like when you visit a doctor. I say, don't smoke. You want to know, why should I not smoke? So the doctor should be able to explain the carcinogens in the cigarettes can lead to mutation in your genes, which can cause cancer or different things. So what's the effect of excess screen time? This is just a panoramic view of the effects of excess screen time. We'll talk about some of these. And if you discover something, at the center of that cycle is what? The brain. The brain. So the brain gets to get all the effects. Most of the effects is actually centered on the brain, because the brain is actually what controls man. So basically we'll be looking at just few of the medical effects of excess screen time. Like I said, I don't want to do more of the repetition of what Dr. Titi has said. So let's just look at few of the medical effects. One is the cognitive development. And we can see that excess screen time affects children's cognitive areas like the sensory-motor development, the executive functioning. We discovered that children that spend excess screen time, their cognitive is not well developed. The way their brain, they just, sometimes they are dull, when they are in school, when other children are being smart, answer questions, study, you discover that these people, they don't. Children that spend excess screen time. Actually, a study was done in US. Okay, I actually saw 3 studies, one done in US, one in Spain, and one in Canada. And they found that children that spend too much time on screen, they have problems with mathematics. Yes. I can give you the paper. So, children that spend too much time on screen, they have problem with mathematics, arithmetic. Most. So I'm not saying any child that is having problem with mathematics is equals to, but the study found out that the children that spend extra screen time, they have problem with cognitive development, with mathematics, with different things. So this studies actually shows that found lasting connection between early screen media exposure and cognitive ability, which in each 1 hour increase in TV exposure at 2 years of age corresponding to 7th unit decrease in participation in class. So the more the children spend on screen, the less this child becomes aware of his academic environment. Why? The screen time affects cognitive development. Next is social and emotional development. Research has always shown next slide. Oh, I thought they were following me. Next slide now. I just spoke about this. Okay. You want me to go to body? Okay. So, social and emotional development. Research has always shown that negative association between screen time and development of physical and cognitive ability. Studies have shown that children that spend too much time on screen have issues like anxiety, depression, aggressive. See, when the child just becomes suddenly aggressive, when he's playing with his peer, the child is aggressive. Any little thing, the child is fighting here, fighting there. Screen time. So studies have shown that additional screen time has been linked to obesity, sleep problem, depression, emotional reactivity, aggression, and anxiety. And the question is, let me just add this to it. Why is it that children that spend too much time on screen time get to become aggressive or anxiety? So they are just two opposite sides. Because things they watch online sometimes trigger more dopamine release in their brain. So when it triggers more dopamine release in their brain, they are just always at alert. Any little touch, they just become so aggressive. So aggressive. Why? Excess screen time. So studies have also shown that attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is a mental disorder when children easily lose attention. They are in class, the teacher is teaching, but they are far away, like completely far away. They can't sit. Such children, they can't just sit they can't concentrate for 10 minutes, 5 minutes. All these are just issues of excess screen time. Next slide. So language development also. Studies have actually also shown that excess screen time affects how children's language develop, because language development involves not just medical, not just the way the brain is developing and it's giving sensory mirror, but it also involves communication with the environment. And the other time we were saying that a child below 2 years, a child of 0 to 2 should not be exposed to screen, because at this age, that's when they are developing their language. So when you expose a child to too much screen, that child is not communicating with adults, is not communicating with people around, and in that way, it affects their language development. And not just that, because the screen time also affects the way brains develop. So it also play a role in development of their sensory neurons. So most times, because many parents or many moms just leave their children with screen, oh, just sit down there, I don't want this baby to cry. So they're not communicating with their environment. They are not, even if it is for them to walk around, run around, and communicate with the mom, communicate with adults, they try to maybe some words in their mouth. So it also affects language development. Next. So just briefly, I will just talk about how do we manage excess screen time. Like we said, we need this screen at home. We can't take away our TVs from home. We can't keep our phone away from us. We need the tabs in the homes. So how do we control excess screen time? Next. Parents should avoid the use of screen time as reward. We do that a lot. Okay, if you do this, then you can watch TV. I can give you the phone. You can take the phone, you can take the tab. Hey, mommy, can I just quickly do this? Then I can own the tab for. Screen time should not be used as reward. Likewise, children likes manipulating parents in the sense that if you don't give them the phone, they tend to cry and try to. They're just trying to manipulate us or try to manipulate the mom. So screen time should not be used as reward for children. Next. How do we manage excess screen time? Manage yourself also as parents. Because studies have shown that parents that spend too much time also themselves on screen, their children will also spend too much time on screen. So if we sit down all day with the TV, there's no way you can tell the children not to sit down with TV. If you are always on your phone, why eating you're on your phone? Why in the mall you're on your phone? Every time you're on your phone, then the children will do the same thing. Why? Because actually children are learning from us. So Children, you can see from this family, the father is on phone, the mom is on phone, the children on phone, everyone is on phone. It's phone war in the home. So we must learn to be good examples to our children. Next slide. Another way to manage excess screen time is restrictions. And these days there have been different apps that have been developed to put restriction on, even on phones, restriction on TV, restriction on any screen you can talk about. So let's see how we can manage. There is something on most of the common phones. It tells you the hours you spend on the phone in a day. It gives you statistics. And sometimes when you see those statistics, you'll be shocked, like, really? So I spent 6 hours on phone today. So let's try to put restrictions on our phones and even on the children's phone. Next slide. And this is very important. Yes, we want to make the children very comfortable in a comfortable environment, but sometimes TV is not needed in the bedroom. TV. Because there's actually a study that shows that when you take TV out of children's room, you reduce a lot their exposure to screen time. Because you'll be sleeping in your room, but these children are 2 a.m. they're still awake. 3 a.m. they are still awake. So they sleep around 3 a.m. You wake them up around 6 a.m. They prepare for school. By the time they get to school, they are sleeping. So TV in bedroom is not a luxury. You're actually affecting that child. So I can confidently say, take away TV from children's room.
It's not true, because
do we agree to that?
It's not true, because you already.
So I'm wrapping up now. I just put this next slide. I'm wrapping up, and I put the story of this man on it's called Benjamin Carson. Ben Carson. I remember those when we were still much younger. We read a lot of his books, Think Big, Gifted Hands, and things like that. So why do I put Ben Carson's story here? Ben Carson, they were actually, the slide there, they were actually 4. They were trained by a single mother. Their father left the home and abandoned their mom. They were trained by a single mother. They were 4. And if you have read the book by Ben Carson, I think Big, he explained how his family background when they were all growing up. So the mother disciplined them in the sense that they have screen time in the home. He said sometimes, those times they didn't really they feel like, hey, mommy is too strict. Mommy said, because their mom used to tell them, I labor to train you in school. So you can't be sitting down with TV. So they have screen time, they have timetable for screen in their house. I think they only watch screen on weekends in their house.
Even we do.
But fast forward from Ben Carson's training, it might look hard. It might look like the mom was too disciplined then. Or if you fast forward the story, Ben Carson grew up to become one of the best doctors in the world. In 2013, he retired. He contested for US president in 2016, I guess. And he has become so great just because a single mother, not even, the father wasn't even around. A single mother put her feet on the ground and said, I want to train this child. So sometimes when we say we are taking away tab or screen from the children, they might be crying, they might not feel convenient, but you are sowing into their future. You are investing everything. As we gather here this evening and we are learning how to control screen time, it's an investment into our children's future. Because we trust God, some of the children from this church will become presidents of nations, doctors, engineers, and great things. So, but the investment starts from here. I think I still have a slide more. Next. So in conclusion, I will conclude with these 2 verses of the scripture. I think one is from 1 Corinthians Paul said, I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. So life, most times our body don't want to do the right thing. And the children also needs to be trained how to discipline themselves. Maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, I was in the office and there's this lady with chair office. It's Ramadan time. She was saying, oh, my small child, she is fasting. I said, oh, you mean a child fasting? So if a Muslim child, small, he said, but I gave him money in case you feel like you are very hungry later in the day, at least you can buy something to eat. Well, I'm just saying, if a Muslim child can be fasting at a small age, or if it is in church, you say, oh, they are just too small. No child is too small. Let's discipline. Let's teach them, maybe in a little way, let's teach them discipline from here. And the last aspect is, the second point I want us to pick from it is that we are the perfect examples for our children. Most times, the children are actually a copy of what we teach them, the kind of example we show them. So let's be a good examples to our children at home. Thank you for listening.
Let's put our hands together once again for Dr. Sheyi. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah, we've learned that too much of screen can cause depression, anxiety, and they even said